it's come that our doctor is recommending she start a lot easier. So we talked last week, Roberta and I, and she's going to be closing up the coffee shop in about 2 more weeks. So we wish her all the best. We're going to stay in touch with her and see how she's doing. I also mentioned to her last week that she and Marshall need any help, like around the house, moving furniture or whatever, that please don't hesitate to give us a call. We can get over there and help them out. But looks like in about 2 weeks, they'll be closing up shop over in town. I'm assuming she's going to sell the business. So I don't know all the details on that.
She doesn't
But-
own the business. She doesn't own the business.
What's that?
She doesn't own the house.
No, I know she doesn't own it, but she owns the
She owns a
business.
business.
Yeah.
He has physical
so-
therapy.
We are going to be meeting here
He'll probably
from
be here
now on.
later.
We got a real good
He'll be.
relationship started. Bill Payne, thanks to Bill Payne, making some connections, and also Bill Murphy with Mark Marshall, who is one of the owners. I think his brother or Chris. is
Yeah, his mom and his brother.
Yeah. And then Roberta is working with us to set this all up today, and we worked out all the finances, so we're good. This is going to be it. We also have on the other side here, the door, a pretty nice porch. So when the weather starts getting a little nicer, if we want to, we can sort of have an outside thing. Might be a little noisy with the road noise, so we'll have to check that out.
Come on in, Charlie.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Charlie. You have to stand, Charlie.
I think that's Charlie. I'm not sure.
All right, and so with that news, we don't have all of our material out of the building yet. We don't have the flag, and everything, but we're gonna get that this week and get it over here. But with that, regardless, let's stand up and we'll do the Rotary motto, which is
Service above self.
Service above self.
we don't have the flag here, but just imagine it in your head, and let's all place our hands over our heart. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag,
States of America.
and to the
the
republic
republic for which it stands,
Under God, indivisible.
visible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then for everything that's going on, things are just not getting better yet. COVID is getting better, but we have some other things. But let's observe a moment of silence and hope for a little peace in the world. Okay, thank you. Alan, I'm sure you've got a song for us.
Well,
today.
I have another patriotic song that we all know. It's God Bless America. God bless America. Land of our love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Thanks, Alan. That last note was a little
That was me.
tough to
That
hit.
was pain. We gotta put a muzzle on it. That was bad.
That's rough. Very quick announcement. We have some guests today, quite a few actually. One of them is Chip Miller. Now he has applied for membership, so today officially we'll kick in now.
Welcome, Chip.
Well, officially, we'll kick in 1 week. If anybody, the rest of the club members have anything that they want to discuss with myself or Jim Rich or any of the board of directors about this, but otherwise, if we're all good with Chip, he's gonna be. a
We're good with
member.
Chip.
And we have an announcement that Dave Wilcox, is he here?
Dave's not here.
Okay, well, Dave has gone through that week, and good news, Dave is now a member.
All right.
Hey.
So, next time
Not
Dave
yet.
is here at the meeting, we'll make sure he
Haven't put
gets
him
his pin. And at some point, with the new members coming on, we'll be arranging for a fireside chat, just to go over the club itself and Rotary in general. And I'll be talking with you a little bit about that shit. Let's see, we have some guests today as well. Bill, why don't you introduce a former member who we're trying to twist his arm? and make
Well,
him a
you know,
member.
John never really left us. John Calder is my guest today. And John is, those of you who don't know John, stand up.
Hello, everyone here.
John is the epitome of Rotary. Even though he stepped back from being a Rotarian, he still joins us on our service projects. In fact, if you go out to the corner and look at the youth garden, John built that entire market area, the shed and all that. And this afternoon, the reason he's with me, we're going up to Marianne Smith, and John's going to work with us on one of our service projects. So I'm delighted that he's here today.
Cheers, Bill.
I'm delighted you joined us here today as well. I've heard so much about you, and now I get to sing.
Shall I leave?
And I will announce that we also, our guest speaker today is Todd Bricken, and he'll be speaking with us in a little bit after we get a meal and so forth. Go ahead, Reggie.
We do have another guest.
Yes, please.
Okay. Dr. Betty Divins.
Second visit,
Uh-huh.
we're counting.
I believe you joined us once on a Zoom meeting. didn't you? I thought so.
Still counts.
Yes.
Second visit for a guest here is Ken Blackburn, Roberts, and Dolores Blackburn here, getting ourselves straight. And they have put in their application for membership.
Hey.
The two members that I have the information on the paper, and I'll get that to the board of directors. And we'll get the ball rolling about 2 weeks. Hopefully, we get through that period and we have you on as permanent members. So welcome. Any other guests? Go ahead, Paul.
Yes, I have a guest, Graham Bisbee. Did I say that right?
You did.
Stand up, Graham, so everybody can see you. I'm sure a lot of you know Graham already. Graham actually had a career over in Virginia Beach, right? Newport News, all right. And he was a member of Rotary years ago, he's told me. He's actually a Paul Harris Fellow, and he was president of his club at one point, many years ago. He says he's not interested in a leadership role anymore. Being Indian.
Well, you'll get over that.
We're glad to have Indians.
Yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, and Rusty Gates here.
Yes.
Rusty, come on
Yeah,
up.
there he is.
Been wanting to get this to you. We announced it last week, but you weren't here. This is a Paul Harris +1 award that has come for Rusty. And I wanted to make sure he got it with the Bluestone pin for you. And thank you very much for your service. Oh, we have Diane on screen here. Diane, I also
Yes.
have a Paul Harris +1 award for you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'll send you an email or give you a call after the meeting, and we'll make arrangements to make sure you get that. I can send it,
That's,
however you want to do it, but I'll
that
talk
sounds great.
sometime before the next meeting, okay?
All right, that sounds great. Thank you.
And congratulations to Diane. said you all look hungry, and I don't want to stand in your way when you stampede up here to get something to eat. So everybody, right now, please line up.
Ladies first.
Ladies and
guests. Ladies and guests first.
Betty, welcome. I wanted you to have a Rotary brochure. I just printed that out this morning.
Boy, we have standing room only.
Yeah. Good told.
Yeah, you know, we knew
So good.
once we started meeting again.
Okay.
Everybody will come out.
Yeah. Some people aren't Zoomers.
Yeah.
Hey, Diane, I'm gonna stop the recording while we eat, and I'll pick it up again when our, say, David, I didn't. mean-
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Now, Al, your job is to remind me to turn it back on.
All right, I'll do my best.
Just north of to the Mary Ann Smith facility. We're going to do a little bit of work in there today. And Bill, I don't know if you want to add on to that any.
No, I just wish I had more company, John and I, but you know, there'll be other opportunities for service. That's what Rotary is all about, service above self.
And making people feel guilty.
But I know it's a cold day.
Yeah.
You gonna be inside
Well,
or
I'll
out?
be with you
We're gonna
too.
be in and out.
All right, and while we got you, Bill, why don't you update us a little bit on the art raffle?
he'll come, Bill.
The art raffle is going gangbusters. Has everybody got their tickets? Okay, so the drawing is April 23rd, but between now and then, there'll be a lot of marketing activities. So people will probably be coming to you to buy tickets. But if they don't come to you, you go to them. It's a tremendous deal. One ticket's $10, but you can get 3 for $25. And we have some tremendous art pieces. Go to the website. You can look them over. And I would encourage some of you who maybe don't have a lot of relationships here to take the email approach. And if you would like some help on and guidance on that, I'd be happy to help you with that. So just give me a call and we'll get that going. Our goal is $8,000. Far short of the golf cart goal, but you know, it's not a golf cart, it's art, but we'll get there. So we'll be talking about it every week and I'll be giving you calls to see how you're doing. Yes, Bill?
Have you gotten some tickets to Mary Ann?
Not yet. There will be tickets available at the drugstore. What's the name of the drugstore? Breakfast. You just tell me one. And I'm in touch with Bowie 56, and we'll have tickets at the Lemon Tree as well.
And by the way, sending a link around by email works. Online sales works better than we had dreamed of. We've already had 14 purchases online for a total of $450. And once again, thanks to Joan, who helped make it possible.
And the website address is on the ticket. So if you haven't visited, take a look at it. It's pretty impressive.
CapeCharlesRotary.org.
All right, and this coming Tuesday, not today, next Tuesday, I believe is Giving Tuesday. I want to have Bill Strand talk a little bit about that.
So every year, the district 7600 does Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is next Tuesday. So what is Giving Tuesday?
Next Tuesday.
I didn't say when, I said what.
The heirs go first.
So Giving Tuesday is, if you have to be registered on myrotary.com, you have to be registered. I think it's .com and maybe .org, but it's My Rotary. And you have to register, you have to go online on next Tuesday, which is the 5th of April, and give every dollar up to $500 will be matched 1-for-1 with points. So if you've never given to the Rotary Foundation before, and you give $500, they will match that with $500, and you will be automatically a Paul Harris Fellow. So it's a great opportunity. We have several folks that do that, and so this is your opportunity. And of course, every dollar that you give to the Rotary Foundation is tax deductible. Any questions? Don't go on there and try to register the day of if you haven't. I would register, make sure you register. All you need to do is have your member number, which is on your magazine, and you register. Another thing is, once you register, you have your personal information in there, and it tells you how much you've given, just so you know that. Any questions? Thank you.
Okay, and next I want to have Walter Childs speak to us about one of his projects that he's working on and trying to drum up some support. Go ahead, Walter.
We've been talking about service projects, and in fact, a couple of weeks ago, a sign-up sheet went around. I wasn't really sure what I was signing up for, but I signed at the top. And it's a group to help find civic activities that are good for the community that members of the Rotary can participate in. For about the last 4 or 5 years, I have been a volunteer with the department. Actually, it's Northampton Social Ministry. And what we do is we receive referrals from the Department of Social Services of people that they consider to be worthy of our assistance. And these are people that through no fault of their own, maybe lost a job, maybe they have a health issue and they can't pay their rent or pay their electric bill or their propane bill, and they're literally hopeless. And what we do is we evaluate the application to see if these are indeed worthy folks. And then we, in fact, I'm currently the check signer. We issue a grant to some of these people up to about $400 for their desperate needs. And so one of the good things about this is recurring, like it's low impact because it might take 3 hours a month to do this. And it's obviously something that the community needs, and these people are really in need of assistance. So anybody who may want to talk about this or volunteer with us, get in touch. Thank you.
Thanks, Walter. Okay, does anybody else have any announcements or ideas for the Rotary Club here for future projects?
Yeah, regarding the highway cleanup, VDOT says April 16th works for them. So on April 16th, the day before Easter, I'll be sending out information to gather in where we normally meet by the golf cart place. We'll split into pairs. We'll work our way up the highway, and who knows, we may end up here for a beer midday.
How convenient.
Yeah.
That starts at 9. We're going to start at
9, yeah.
Okay. And
April 16th.
yes, and we typically look for a minimum of 12 people. So we break up into, we have 6 zones, and we assign 2 people to a zone. But if we get more than 12 people, hey, that's great. But minimum, we really like to have 12. So if you're looking for a spring weather type, get outside and do something, please join us. You can let Al or myself or Jim Rich know if you volunteer for that. We do want to know who's volunteering. So keep an eye out for that in the announcements and in the newsletter. I'll make sure that Medi gets that. Okay, any other announcements or things you want to bring up? Go ahead, Randy.
Only 2 days left in the quarter to pay your dues if you haven't. So just a gentle reminder.
And one thing, speaking of Randy, speaking up, we are looking for someone to take the spot of secretary of the club beginning on July 1. or hopefully sometime not too long in the future after that, hopefully we can get somebody to step into Randy's position by July 1, but we're going to continue to look for someone to volunteer for that. If you have an interest, you can talk directly to Randy and he'll explain the job duties. Randy, you've been doing this, what, 3 years now?
3 years, yeah.
3 years. So I think he's paid his dues. So we are looking for someone to volunteer for that position. We do have some new members coming on, and I think Dave Wilcox actually said he would serve as Sergeant of Arms. We do not have Bob Church as an active member of the club anymore. However, he's still going to work with us on projects. Bill, I think he's coming.
Yeah, he's joining us today.
Yeah, he's coming up to the Mary Ann Smith building today. So for some personal reasons, he's hopefully temporarily having to remove himself from the roles right now at Rotary. But if things reverse and things change for him or he can rejoin, he's going to be welcome back, very definitely. All right, with that said, any happy dollars today?
Yes.
Wait a minute, John Burtis had his hand up first.
I didn't see it.
By the way, happy dollars, no dollars change hands today. Paul's going to be recording and then it'll be on your membership dues. Go ahead.
$20. I'm happy to be here. I like the venue. No slight for the coffee shop. The acoustics are good. I have very good hearing. I have bad listening skills. But very good. I want to congratulate Bill for the Hogs making it farther than Mountaineers in the tournament. I want to point out we have two very well-dressed gentlemen sitting at this table over here. And I want you to each stand if you will. Tom, would you stand? And Bill,
Yes.
we have to have a little applause meter of who's the best dressed. Mr. Murphy, who's his distant cousin, and I'm from England too, by the way, probably in a minute. Shows to wear this shirt because he's such a bad dresser. I bought him this, and he decided to wear it.
Is that two birds?
I'll have something to say about
And that's the Chris. I really took my family came here in 1850s. I think you guys know that. I think all the crimes that Grand committed, the statute of limitations has run out. But Reggie, the reason you didn't see John, he was at Northampton. He was incarcerated. I used to see him every month, taking cigarettes and candy. He looks pretty good. So we're glad to have you back. But they're glad you have your welcome.
Thank you, very definitely. Bill.
No, I think it's appropriate that Murph go next.
Wait, didn't you say this was happy dollars?
Yeah.
How much did he get?
20.
bucks.
Okay, sorry.
All right.
Well, I've got 10 happy dollars. We split it up anyway. We want but at least five for back my good friend, Mr. John Calder's here with us again. So, for those of you that don't know him, he's rather bashful. So. The other thing, this is, I know I've said this before, but this goes back several months. John and I had a bet, Virginia Tech and West Virginia football. And I'm not going to really tell you who won, but I'm wearing the shirt. So I wasn't going to wear it today because it's cold. I was just going to wear that now. And my wife had gone off earlier, so I said, now's my chance to slip this on without having to hear about it. But anyway, this is in payment of a debt, and I look forward in September to having you wear the Virginia Tech shirt.
I'll be happy to do it. Now, see, I would have thought you'd have the shirts reversed. You'd have the top one as the bottom one, and
I couldn't do that.
Okay, go ahead, Reggie.
Yes, I have 10 happy dollars today. 5 for her Dr. Benton's second visit, and 5 for her application as a member to the club.
Yay!
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Yes, I have 10 happy dollars, 5 to celebrate my good friend that I share with Bill, and that's John Calder. John, we're so delighted to have you here. And
He's not going to go back.
I don't care if he joins or not, as long as he serves. That's all it's about. And the other 5 is this club is growing organically. We are red hot, and I'm just excited about that. If we don't watch it, we'll be over 40 in just a few weeks.
That won't hurt a bit. That won't hurt a bit. Okay, any other happy dollars?
One over here.
Right.
Go ahead, Paul.
I got 10 happy dollars and I'll say $5 because Graham came as my guest today. We're delighted to have him. Hope he will consider becoming a member. Secondly, as you may have noticed that I've graduated not only from my walker, but I don't even have my cane.
Don't go near Paul with a bag. Good to see you up and around.
Big knees bilaterally.
One other thing I wanted to mention, if anybody else here is a biker, we just saw the email come out that Between the Waters ride will be, I think it's October 22nd.
Yeah.
And they have the 25, the 40, the 60, and the 100-mile routes, and it's going to be out this year out of Waka Creek. So I know that myself and Al are going to be signing up. I'm over the 100-mile rides now, but we're going to do the 60-mile ride. But you can do as little as 25 miles. So just a heads up, it raises money for the Eastern Shore itself, and just kind of consider that. We may need somebody to ride along with us in the car in case we can't give us a ride back. I'll be reminding people of that here and there. So get your bike out, get it cleaned up and ready to go. Any more happy dollars? All right, well, I want to bring up our guest speaker today. His name is Todd Brickman. And he's going to talk to us today about the radium portion of Watson's development. And tell us a little bit about yourself, too, Todd.
All right, so I'm from Frederick, Maryland.
If we leave, you have to take that.
I have a history of restaurant business since I was 12. Boston tables, waiting tables, cooking. I went to the Culinary Institute of America to get my chef's degree. Graduated from University of Maryland Eastern Shore with hotel restaurant management background. I've always been in this business. I've loved the business, but I'm not going to stay in the business due to the current times, very complicated for hiring and managing. And I ran a restaurant for 19 years. So originally I took an old schoolhouse over near Frederick, Maryland. We renovated an 1892 building. I have a passion for renovations. I have a great architect from the Frederick, Maryland area who does a lot of Civil War revitalizations of buildings from the 19th century. I think he's perfect for this project that we're engaging in now. And how I ended up here is I looked all over the shore area, the North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. I love this area because it's coastal, but as far as I know, we don't have any terrible storms here.
Todd, move over low.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So basically, I want to retire here. We do have a 12-year-old in school, so we're going to wait until he's finished. But I wanted to have a source of income here, so when I'm here, because I don't think I'll ever retire fully. My family tends to work into their 80s and 90s. So I bought some property over in the, what you want to call it, Jelly Bean area, or, I'm not sure. Yeah, well, no, it's Bay Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Bay Creek area. So we have a small plot there. We plan on building there too, but somehow, I kept working with my same realtor in hopes that we'd find something. We looked at the Kellogg building, we looked at a couple other smaller properties, and this came available. I think originally they wanted to sell the Watson building as one unit with both sides. That's way too much for me. I walked into the building and I knew it was going to need a lot of renovation, a lot of work. it's gonna need a lot of work. Today I went in to see what they've done. They've actually taken a skid loader in there and basically started scooping the insides out. So let me think what order to go in here. So that's how I ended up here. I have a wife, I have a 12-year-old. I got a late start because I worked my whole life. I didn't have time to meet anybody or get married. So I got married at 41, had a baby at 44, so
Whoa.
I'm way behind. So we anticipate this project going on till August or September of next year. So let's see, where am I here? I do have a passion for renovations. I have a passion for downtown revitalizations. I grew up on a small farm. I learned to recycle, reuse. We didn't throw anything away. Everything we ever did, we'd throw something in a dump and a month later get back to the dump to get it. So I've always wanted to keep a building. I don't like to increase footprints. I don't want to, create more of a problem. At my restaurant, we had one of the first commercial turbines in Maryland. We recycled everything before recycling was required. I got into separating everything. I'm trying my best. I do look at the positive, negatives of every kind of recycling or what it takes to recycle anyhow. So basically, we're starting out with what you all know, and you all know this building probably better than I do. It's kind of a Frankenstein, it's been added on, it's been patched, it's been taped, it's been lipstick on a pig. And I don't blame it, I'm not, I like Mr. Watson, we get along great. I'm not saying he did what he did, and I think he did a great job. So you all see the original picture, you know what it looks like. Again, I had my architect come up with plans. We worked close together for almost 25 years on different projects. So my intent is to use the first floor for commercial, as there is an ordinance in town. You have to do commercial on the first floor. You can't do residential. So first floor will be basically just cleaned out. We're going to put a new roof on the building. We're taking up the floor because it was a theater, so the floor is raked. Some parts are 3 feet deep, some are 3 inches, I guess. My son had a good time. We took a barrel in the building and we would put it in the middle of the building and push it to see which way it would roll back. I think we have about 18 to 22 inches, I think, of variance from one end of the building to the other. So all that's going to get gutted out. I was in there today. What was supposed to be a copper ceiling or metal ceiling was basically trash. It was thin metal over some sort of a material backing. So there's piles of what looks like inside snow right now, just debris. Everything will be gutted out. We're just going to leave very simple on the first floor, hopefully get a tenant that'll help me decide the purpose of the building. The second floor will have 5 apartments, and we'll have 3 more of the original office suites that were up here. They'll remain similar to what they are now. There'll be about 725 square feet, 1 bedroom. And in the back, we'll have 950 feet, but they're going to be stacked because the back of the building where the theater was is basically 30 feet tall. So we'll have a garage unit on the first floor, and the town really appreciated us trying to work with the parking issues that we have. So I actually have an internal parking space, which is not too common, and then a couple parking in the back. And so the building, the apartments will actually be stacked. There'll be an internal staircase going to a loft bedroom over top of an apartment and bedroom. I think that's a need for Main Street. I think we're in a very centralized lot. I think we'll have a lot of foot traffic. It'll add to Main Street. More than likely, it'll be short-time rentals there because of the investment cost. I don't think it's gonna lend for me to do monthly leases, you know, or annual leases for apartments. I think they'll have to be short-term, just because of the money that we're putting into the property. By the time I'm done, it should be like 2.7 million to $3 million. So, as y'all know, I purchased the property for about 600,000. And right now we're at 1.7 for the renovations. That'll include finishing the second floor apartments, but not the first floor. It'd be almost no internal structure, just some plumbing, pipes, exhaust. I'm gonna exhaust it for a restaurant in case the tenant wants to use it as a restaurant. And you all probably know more about the building than I do, but it was the Radium Theater, opened in 1922. It was the largest theater on the Eastern Shore. It had approximately 500 seats. Silent movies to start, it said there was an orchestra pit or player piano or some sort of music to go along with the presentations or movies. I did read that they had the first fireproof projector room also. And I was gonna bring you the door to the projector room just to show you what fireproofing meant back then. It was a wood door with some tin like hammered over top of it. So I thought that was interesting, but I guess apparently theaters used to catch fire quite a lot from the heat product from the projectors. They also had an air conditioning system of some sort in 1928 or 1927, which is also pretty advanced for the times, I think. I know the theater closed in 1960, and then I guess it became the hardware store. What I haven't figured out is what was there between 1910 and 1922. As we were looking today in the building, we can see almost how it was built in 2 stages. So the reading I saw said it was 40 by 100, but from what it looks like to us, it was more like 60 by 40 originally, because the brick is done in stages. They don't match. The patterns are different. The brick's different. So we're learning a lot about the building as we get into it. This week, they'll probably start to take up parts of the floor to find out what's underneath of it. I have my architects, engineers coming down next Friday to do some more investigation into what it's going to take to put it back together. So as I go along, like the last project I did, I'll find out more and more of what needs to be done. So that is pretty much it. If I missed anything, I'm not sure. Yes, sir.
On that schematic there, where is Mason Avenue?
Mason Avenue up this way. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
This way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mason Avenue is here. My property takes up, the building takes up almost all the property. I think I have 5 feet behind the building. We're going to take down one of the sheds in the back that was used for wood and storage, just to allow for these 2 parking spaces. That was most of my major.
How do you get back there?
Sir?
How do you get back there?
Yes, good question. Come off of
There's an easement back there.
yeah, but you come off the
Randolph.
Road behind. Yeah, there's an alley. But that was one of my major complications with getting permits, was to figure out where my parking was going to occur. So we did get easement rights to the back of the hardware store as well. They wanted me to have 6 spaces for the building, 1.5 per unit. And I understand parking is an issue throughout town.
Yeah.
But they did appreciate my efforts in trying to, I am removing part of my building just to help with the parking issue. So I think this will be very useful to have an indoor parking area too. Just, I think it'd be nice. You don't see a whole lot of that in town.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I need some proof, I guess, everybody denies the fact that I'm lying about them throwing turkeys out the windows. Thanksgiving and Christmas. Nobody seems to remember that.
Were they live or frozen?
And this is what I actually saw. It's just I can't find anybody else around now that saw it. But every
What year?
Thanksgiving and every Christmas,
What year was that?
I don't remember the years now, but it was for, I think it was, I know it was that during the Korean War at that time. And I don't know where it was the, I don't know if Charlie knows about this or not.
That'd be the early 50s.
I'll look into it.
Look for turkey feathers.
I just want to add, check with Paul. I think I've heard him talk about that. Paul Bivens.
Yes.
I think I've heard him
There you
talk
go.
about
He's
something
like the
like
only
that.
one that
I did keep ducks, goats, and chickens at my restaurant. And apparently I was on the schedule every year for the high school scavenger hunt. So they came and they took my ducks one year and let them go into high school. So I probably could arrange for turkeys. Yeah.
Well, sense of humor.
Have you ever, so I had, you like the story too, I had to get down to the animal rescue to get my ducks. And they asked me if I could describe my ducks on the phone. And I said, yeah, I think they have white feathers and orange beaks and feet. So I wasn't sure, you know, they were mine because they look like every other duck. So when I got them back from the animal rescue, I let them out of my car and they did the walk of shame back to the room. So, because they knew what they were doing.
I guess you think I came here with the town.
Sir?
I guess you think I came here with the town.
You came with it or you built it?
Tell them about the
Yes.
facade. and
Okay, yeah,
blending up.
good point, yeah. So right now it is a mix of, as you know, Ellen Moore had a shop there, so she wanted to, I don't know if she's the one to build it out, but you know, her section looked a little different than the others. They will remove all these windows and make them back to more compliant or more consistent. And then I also want to change the look a little bit of this patio or whatever you want to call the porch area. They asked me to look at what was historic, you know, what was more true to what it was, but there wasn't no patio or balcony. There was just the over the windows, they had the canvas awnings. So now I understand they're going to take the whole thing off and then rebuild a new porch. I thought they were going to repair this, but unless they get in there and find steel or something that's more durable, they're going to just take it off and rebuild. And I want to go with the square pillar just because the rest of like the other buildings along Mason are all square pillars. They look to me a little bit more consistent. These pillars here are actually larger than the pillars underneath, which also didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But anyhow, my goal is to make this whole area brighter, more consistent. We had a lot of confusion about the brick, whether it was painted, whether it was stained brick, but it is actually all painted. So we'll have to pick a consistent color, select a color that'll maybe brighten up the building a little bit, make it look a little more appealing, I think, to foot traffic. According to what tenant I have, we'll decide what type of doorways and openings to have.
Just so I understand, you purchased this, you're renovating.
or once the renovations are done, are you gonna operate it as well or sell it
No,
off as
no,
a
no.
finished product?
No more operation for me.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then the upstairs apartments, since it'll be somebody else's, it's their call. It sounded like you were saying more like summer rentals. for
I believe
those?
so, yeah. I'm hoping to use Blue Heron for a rental company so they can help me with it. I won't be here full time, like I said, for another 6 years, 8 years probably. But just, I mean, it's an issue I think everybody's concerned with is how do you bring these properties back and make them affordable? I don't know how to do that, you know, for local residents. I was just talking to people in Rayfields about how you can't afford to live here. You all asked about projects. I'd like to work with trying to coordinate some youth to come here and work in the industry. I've got experience in every position in this industry. I'd love to help maybe fit some younger people to the needs of the town because, you know, I go to all the restaurants, I talk to everybody, you know, when the pizza place reopens, you know, they need more staff. And they just hired a lot of people at the shanty, you know, I mean, it's a problem. You need help. And I worked in Ocean City for 3 years. We had to live 6 people in a 2-bedroom apartment so that we could afford to work and live there. It's been a problem for 40 or 50 years. I don't know the solution. I wish I did. Yeah. Any other questions?
I just wanted to, my wife and I came here in 1996 and we built the building next door to what is the pub.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate what you're doing,
Yeah.
what you're encountering. I've told this 3,000 times, there was nothing, not even a cockroach living in our building. Everything moved out. And we found a lot of interesting things. We did find pieces of birds. It might have been some of the birds, but they were seagulls, I think. I didn't find any turkeys. I didn't find any turkeys.
They moved into my building when they left.
Okay, good.
They pulled out, there's a fuse box or whatever you want to call it in the back. It was this big and it had where the wiring would have gone through and there was birds living in there. I'm going to save that box. It's a panel about 4 feet tall, I think, with a switch on it. You know, you can take 2 people to flip. So I've never seen so many electrical conduits and fuse boxes in one building. You know, we had the screw fuses. We were checking them this morning to see if there was any pennies behind it. It's fun to go in there. Just to further note, there's almost nothing salvageable. They marketed it as a tin ceiling in there, but apparently it had a backing on it that made for sound because of the movie theater perhaps. But when that got soaked from the roof leaking, it basically swelled up behind the tin. And there's no way you could remove the tin from the backing. There's literally a 3 or 4 foot pile, maybe 40 feet wide of debris from that ceiling. It's basically a pile. I said if I was a young kid, I'd probably be in there playing in like leaves, but it's not something you want to play with. So we mentioned the wood
transom or
what? Yeah, behind where the screen would have been, you know, above the movie screen area. But the builders are saying there's almost no way to take that down. It's in sections and it was put up, it was designed and put up in parts. We'll see. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he's even gonna be able to salvage that. I took 12 doors down last week myself inside just for fun to see if I wanted to keep any. I took the projector slide. They had iron plates that they would pull up to put the projectors out. And I took all the frames and doors off the wall. There's not a whole lot. I don't think people were putting a lot of money into buildings in the 20s for movie theaters. Just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot in there with any historic value really that survived.
Bill. David, you have a question?
Oh, yeah, Dave Kavler.
Yeah,
hello.
Yeah, hey, hi, Todd. Thanks for your presentation. How was it working with the Historic Review Board in town?
How was it? Oh, for me, it was great. Oh, I thought you said you worked with him. No, for me, it was very, I don't even know. Katie Nunez, about 10 minutes into the hearing or whatever you want to call it, said, "Are you sure you want to approve this? Maybe you want to slow down and ask more questions." For me, it was the easiest process I've ever had. And people seem to be shocked by that. Yeah. So I think it's because of my architect. Like I explained to them, he does this for a living in Frederick, Maryland. It's like I said, a Civil War era town, and he's done a lot of remodel renovations there. So I think he's used to dealing with historic boards and the questions they're going to ask. And I think he already anticipated what would be an issue. So sorry to disappoint you.
No, that's good news.
What comedy club do you work at?
I'm a waiter. I didn't tell you all that. I actually wait tables in a Greek restaurant. So, yeah, I'm used to trying to entertain, I guess.
We got that license.
Yeah. So,
Okay, any other questions for Todd? Well, Todd, I'm originally from Baltimore.
Okay,
I
good.
used to get out to Frederick quite a bit. It's a nice thing.
Yes, sir.
Still is even today. So really appreciate you coming
My
today.
pleasure.
And when you get relocated down here, please come to the Rotary.
well, I'd be happy to help with projects. We'll be here more than likely 2 weeks out of the month, just 3 days at a time. If y'all can figure out a way to maybe need a liaison, maybe with some youth or something, I'd be happy to help. I don't know if that's in your realm of work or not.
It's one of the things we've been kicking around too, trying to get youth in here to join the club and so forth. The one thing that's happening these days is more and more people are able to work from home. So we are starting to see a few younger people move down to the area that have that capability that they can work remotely and start to relocate. So all the negative things that came with the COVID situation, that's the one positive. So, really appreciate you coming in and discussing today.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything they want to bring up today?
I think you should point out where the disposal garbage bag is so that people can move their trash into it.
Right. Right by the safe there on the left side is the trash can. There's an interesting story about the safe that we were told when we came here for a meeting. The owner, one of the co-owners here was formerly in law enforcement. And he told us the history of that safe